What if I told you that the key to unshakable self-discipline has been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years? It's a secret not found in modern self-help books, not in the latest apps, and not in the noise of today's world. No, the answer comes from ancient wisdom, from the quiet and relentless mind of Marcus Aurelius and the timeless teachings of Stoicism. In this video, we will uncover 10 powerful Stoic principles that will change the way you think, act, and build self-discipline. But this isn't just another video on motivation. Here, we dive deep into the philosophy that shaped emperors, warriors, and scholars, men and women who faced unimaginable challenges and still remained resolute. You will not only understand how to control your impulses, but how to master your inner world. Because let's be honest, the greatest battle is always within. As you watch, reflect on this. What if you could live a life where you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions or desires? What if you could be unshakable, no matter the storm? Stay with me until the end, because this journey into Stoic wisdom is about to shift how you approach life's toughest moments, and more importantly, how you find peace amidst the chaos. If you're ready to embark on this path to self-mastery, welcome to Stoic Mind, the place where ancient wisdom meets modern resilience. Quote by Marcus Aurelius: "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought, for the human spirit is colored by such impressions." Principle 1, control what you can, let go of the rest. Expanded. In Stoicism, the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot is fundamental. This is often referred to as the dichotomy of control. But mastering this concept requires more than an intellectual understanding. It requires continuous practice and deep internalization. The mind must learn to release the need for certainty and control over external events. Example of application. Imagine a scenario where you're driving to work and hit a traffic jam. Anger and frustration bubble up because you know you'll be late for an important meeting. Many would let their emotions run wild, cursing the other drivers, the road conditions, or even fate itself. But what does this accomplish? Nothing but internal chaos. A Stoic would acknowledge the situation and recognize that while they can't control the traffic, they can control how they respond to it. They take a deep breath, use the time in the car to reflect or listen to an audiobook, and maintain their inner peace. Further Stoic strategies. Practice premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. This ancient Stoic exercise involves mentally rehearsing potential challenges or difficulties in advance. By imagining worst-case scenarios before they happen, we condition ourselves to respond calmly and rationally when they do. This practice helps train the mind to let go of the things it cannot control, allowing us to face adversity without emotional turbulence. Example, before an important presentation, visualize everything that could go wrong. The projector fails, your audience is uninterested, or you stumble over your words. Prepare yourself emotionally to handle these outcomes with grace and composure. Shift from reaction to response. Train your mind to pause before reacting to external events. This gives you time to analyze whether a situation is worth your emotional energy. In moments of stress, remind yourself that every event is neutral. It's your interpretation that assigns it value. The Stoic sage remains unmoved, responding only after thoughtful reflection. Quote from Epictetus: "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote serves as a constant reminder that the key to self-discipline lies in mastering our reactions rather than attempting to control the uncontrollable forces around us. Principle 2, embrace discomfort as a teacher. Expanded. Discomfort is not an enemy. It is, in fact, one of life's greatest instructors. The Stoics viewed adversity as an essential element of human growth. By facing hardship and enduring discomfort, we become stronger, more resilient, and more disciplined. Seneca wrote extensively on this in his essay On Providence, where he argued that the gods test those they care for by giving them challenges. It is through discomfort that we cultivate strength. Further illustration. Think of an individual training for a marathon. Every day they run, they push their body beyond its previous limits. The pain in their legs and lungs is excruciating, but with each run, their endurance builds. The discomfort they experience is not a barrier, It is the path to success. Without it, they would never develop the physical or mental toughness needed to complete the race. Further Stoic strategies. Voluntary hardship. Seneca often practiced what he called voluntary discomfort or voluntary poverty. He would periodically live with minimal resources, such as eating basic food or wearing rough clothing, to remind himself that he could endure life's harshest conditions. This practice helps us build resilience by showing us that we can survive and even thrive with less. Example, once a month, you might fast for a day, walk instead of driving, or spend time without your phone or internet. These small voluntary hardships help you realize that comfort, reframing pain as growth. Every time you face a challenge, remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. By learning to endure, you are building the mental and physical resilience that will carry you through future adversities. Example, when exercising or engaging in difficult work, visualize your pain as your muscles growing stronger, both physically and mentally. This mental shift can help you push through discomfort with a sense of purpose. Quote from Seneca, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." This quote highlights that the obstacles we face are not to be avoided but embraced, for it is only through surmounting great challenges that we achieve greatness. Principle 3. Practice delayed gratification. Expanded. The Stoics knew that impulsivity weakens the mind. Immediate pleasures are often fleeting, leaving us empty and unfulfilled in the long run. To develop true self-discipline, we must master the art of delayed gratification. This means resisting the urge for short-term rewards in favor of long-term goals that bring lasting satisfaction and fulfillment. Further illustration. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by instant pleasures, social media, fast food, binge-watching television shows, and more. These distractions pull us away from our long-term objectives. Consider someone trying to save money, but is constantly tempted by advertisements to buy new gadgets or clothes. Each purchase brings momentary joy, but erodes their ability to achieve financial freedom. Further Stoic strategies. The long view approach. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of the transient nature of life's pleasures. In his meditations, he advises us to think of ourselves in the grand scheme of time. In 100 years, will that extra dessert or new gadget matter? Or will the discipline to save, invest, or build long-term health have a greater impact? By adopting a long-view perspective, we learn to delay gratification in favor of more significant achievements. Example, when tempted by a fleeting pleasure, take a moment to reflect on your long-term goals. Will giving in to this impulse bring you closer to or farther from those goals? If the answer is the latter, create reward systems. Delaying gratification doesn't mean eliminating all rewards. Instead, Stoics often structured their rewards to align with long-term growth. For example, after a month of disciplined work, you might allow yourself a day of rest or a small indulgence. The key is to ensure that the reward follows a period of disciplined effort rather than preceding it. Example, set milestones for your long-term goals and allow yourself small rewards once those milestones are reached. This creates a sense of accomplishment and helps reinforce the habit of delaying gratification. Quote from Marcus Aurelius, "Do not be carried away by appearances, but examine them carefully and see how they conform to reality." This quote urges us to look beyond the surface of immediate pleasures and to examine their true value in the context of our long-term objectives. Principle 4. Focus on your circle of influence. Expanded. In our interconnected world, it's easy to be swept away by concerns that have no direct impact on our lives. We worry about global events, politics, or even the opinions of strangers online. But the Stoics teach us that mental and emotional energy should only be spent on what we can directly influence. By focusing on our circle of influence, we conserve our strength for meaningful action. Further illustration, consider a person who spends hours scrolling through social media, comparing themselves to others. They feel inadequate because of the success or beauty of people they have never met. This person is wasting precious energy on factors outside their control. The lives and opinions of others. Instead, they could focus that energy on self-improvement and growth within their own life. Further Stoic strategies: the discipline of attention. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius writes about the importance of directing our attention only toward what truly matters. We often spend too much time worrying about things outside our control, which not only saps our energy, but also diminishes our self-discipline. Learning to focus on the things we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and responses, allows us to cultivate a powerful sense of agency. Example: next time you find yourself overwhelmed by external factors, take a moment to list what you can actually control in that situation. Creating boundaries. To strengthen self-discipline, we must set clear boundaries for where our attention and energy go. This may mean limiting time spent on social media or disengaging from conversations that drain us. By protecting our mental space, we ensure that we have the focus and energy to invest in our personal growth. Example: set a daily limit on your social media consumption, or establish a rule that you will not engage in conversations about topics that are outside your control, such as politics, gossip, etc. Redirect that time toward activities that align with your goals and values. Quote from Epictetus: "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This quote reinforces the Stoic belief that peace and power come from focusing solely on what is within our control. Principle 5. Build mental fortitude through repetition. Expanded. Self-discipline, like any skill, requires constant practice. The Stoics understood that human beings are creatures of habit. Our thoughts and actions are shaped by repeated behavior over time. Building mental fortitude requires that we continuously train our minds to remain strong in the face of challenges. This is not a one-time act, but a daily practice. Further illustration: imagine someone learning to play the piano. In the beginning, every note is a struggle, and progress feels painfully slow. But over time, through consistent practice, their fingers move with grace, and the music flows naturally. The same is true for self-discipline. At first, resisting temptations or controlling emotional impulses is difficult, but with daily practice, it becomes second nature. Further Stoic strategies. Daily reflection. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius speaks of the importance of daily reflection. Every evening, he would reflect on his day, reviewing his thoughts, actions, and responses. This practice allowed him to identify areas where he could improve and reinforce the behaviors that aligned with Stoic principles. Example: at the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on how you lived according to your values. Did you exercise self-discipline in your thoughts, actions, and speech? Where did you falter, and how can you do better tomorrow? Discipline through routine. Seneca often spoke of the importance of routine in cultivating virtue. By structuring our lives around disciplined habits, whether it's waking up early, exercising, or dedicating time to study, we build mental fortitude. Routine helps eliminate distractions and makes self-discipline automatic. Example: create a morning routine that sets a disciplined tone for your day. This might include meditation, exercise, and planning your priorities. The more consistently you follow this routine, the more naturally self-discipline will come to you throughout the day. Quote from Marcus Aurelius: "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This quote reminds us that what we think and do repeatedly shapes who we become. By practicing discipline daily, we strengthen our minds and characters. Principle 6. Detach from external validation. Expanded. In a world driven by likes, comments, and external praise, detaching from external validation is a radical act of self-discipline. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from within, and that relying on others for validation weakens our autonomy. When we are ruled by the opinions of others, we sacrifice our freedom and self-discipline. Further illustration: consider an artist who creates to please their audience rather than to express their true vision. Over time, they lose sight of their original purpose and become a slave to public opinion. Their work may gain temporary popularity, but it lacks the depth and authenticity that comes from creating with integrity. Further Stoic strategies: internal versus external rewards. The Stoics taught that we should measure our success based on internal standards rather than external recognition. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we should be satisfied if we can live according to nature, meaning that we should strive to live in alignment with our own values and principles, rather than seeking approval from others. Example: next time you complete a task, resist the urge to seek praise or recognition. Instead, ask yourself, did I act according to my values? Did I give my best effort? Let your satisfaction come from the knowledge that you lived with integrity, regardless of whether anyone else noticed. Controlling the desire for praise. Praise can be intoxicating, but it is also fleeting. The Stoics practice training themselves to be indifferent to both praise and criticism. By cultivating this indifference, we strengthen our sense of self and become less dependent on external validation. Example: when receiving praise or criticism, take a moment to reflect on its true significance. Does it change who you are or what you stand for? If not, let it pass without attachment, knowing that your worth is determined by your character, not others' opinions. Quote from Marcus Aurelius: "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This quote captures the paradox of seeking external validation. The more we focus on others' opinions, the more we lose touch with our own inner strength and values. Principle 7. Learn from failure, but do not dwell on it. Expanded. Failure is an inevitable part of life, but the Stoics viewed it not as a setback, but as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the transient nature of success and failure, reminding himself that both are fleeting and neither should be taken too seriously. To build self-discipline, we must learn from our mistakes without letting them define us. Further illustration: think of an entrepreneur who starts a business only to see it fail within the first year. They could dwell on their failure, allowing it to erode their confidence and stop them from trying again. Or they could analyze what went wrong, adjust their approach, and try again with renewed wisdom. The Stoic way is to view failure as feedback, not as a permanent mark of defeat. Further Stoic strategies: analyze, don't ruminate. Seneca wrote extensively on the importance of rational analysis in the face of failure. Rather than getting lost in emotional turmoil, the Stoics advise us to approach failure with curiosity and a problem-solving mindset. What went wrong? What can I learn? What can I do differently next time? Example: after experiencing a setback, write down what you learned from the experience and how you plan to improve in the future. By shifting from emotional rumination to rational analysis, you turn failure into a valuable learning experience. Detach from outcomes. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is to focus on effort rather than outcome. We can control our actions, but we cannot control the results. By detaching from the outcome, we free ourselves from the anxiety of failure and the pride of success. This detachment allows us to focus on doing our best, knowing that the result is beyond our control. Example: when pursuing a goal, remind yourself that your worth is not tied to the outcome. Whether you succeed or fail, what matters is that you gave your best effort. This mindset not only reduces the fear of failure, but also helps you bounce back more quickly when setbacks occur. Quote from Seneca: "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This quote highlights the Stoic belief that failure is not the end. It is simply the beginning of a new chapter, a new opportunity for growth. Principle 8. Practice gratitude daily. Expanded. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices for cultivating self-discipline. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we strengthen our ability to resist temptations and distractions. The Stoics taught that contentment comes not from external wealth or success, but from appreciating the simple gifts of life. Further illustration: consider someone who constantly chases material wealth, believing that happiness lies in the next promotion, the next paycheck, or the next luxury purchase. No matter how much they acquire, they never feel satisfied because they are always focused on what they don't have. Contrast this with someone who practices gratitude daily. They appreciate the beauty of nature, the warmth of a conversation, or the satisfaction of a job well done. This person experiences lasting contentment, even without external success. Further Stoic strategies. Morning gratitude. Practice. Marcus Aurelius often began his day by reminding himself of the simple blessings in life. He would reflect on the beauty of the world around him, the health of his body, and the strength of his mind. This practice of morning gratitude helped him start the day with a sense of contentment and peace, setting the tone for a disciplined and focused day. Example: each morning, take a few moments to write down 3 things you are grateful for. These can be as simple as a good night's sleep, a warm meal, or the support of a friend. Reframing challenges as blessings. The Stoics believed that even challenges and hardships could be viewed as blessings. Every difficulty is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. By reframing challenges as gifts, we learn to embrace adversity with gratitude rather than resentment. Example: next time you face a difficult situation, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How will this make me stronger? By shifting your perspective, you turn challenges into opportunities for growth and self-discipline. Quote from Epictetus: "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This quote captures the essence of Stoic gratitude. By focusing on what we have, we free ourselves from the endless pursuit of more and cultivate a lasting sense of contentment. Principle 9. Master self-control in speech and action. Expanded. The Stoics believed that true strength lies not in our ability to dominate others, but in our ability to control ourselves. This principle applies not only to our thoughts, but also to our words and actions. In a world where people often speak and act impulsively, mastering self-control is a rare and valuable skill. Further illustration: think of someone who, in a moment of anger, says something hurtful to a loved one. Though they may apologize later, the damage is done. Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. The Stoics understood the power of speech and taught that we must exercise great caution before we speak or act. Further Stoic strategies. The pause. Before speech. In his Enchiridion, Epictetus advises us to pause and reflect before we speak. Are our words necessary? Are they kind? Will they contribute to the well-being of others? By practicing this pause, we prevent ourselves from saying things we may later regret and ensure that our words align with our values. Example: before speaking in a heated moment, take a deep breath and count to 5. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say helpful or hurtful? By taking this moment to reflect, you give yourself the space to choose your words wisely. Control over impulses. Seneca wrote about the importance of controlling our impulses, particularly in moments of strong emotion. Whether it's anger, fear, or desire, our emotions can easily lead us to act in ways that are out of alignment with our values. The Stoic practice of self-control teaches us to pause, reflect, and choose actions that are grounded in wisdom rather than impulse. Example: when you feel a strong emotional impulse, whether it's the urge to lash out in anger or indulge in a temptation, take a moment to step back. Remind yourself that true strength lies in self-control, not in giving in to the impulse. This practice not only strengthens your self-discipline, but also helps you live in greater alignment with your values. Quote from Epictetus: "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This quote highlights the Stoic belief that we must first define the person we want to be, and then align our actions and words with that vision. By mastering self-control, we live with greater integrity and purpose. Conclusion: the pursuit of self-discipline is not for the faint of heart. It's a path walked by few, but the rewards are immense. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This journey we've explored together is not just about controlling your reactions or delaying gratification. It's about becoming the architect of your own mind. By embracing these Stoic principles, you are building a fortress within yourself that no external force can shake. As you move forward, Let these teachings guide you. Reflect on them, apply them, and above all, commit to the daily practice of mastering your inner world. The storms of life will come, but with the discipline of a Stoic, you will stand firm, unmovable. Remember to subscribe to Stoic Mind if you haven't already, because this is just the beginning of your transformation. Together, we will continue to dive deeper into the Stoic philosophy, finding strength in its timeless wisdom. Thank you for watching. Stay disciplined, stay strong, and as always, be Stoic.